Edo Governor Obaseki don sign 228 billion naira agreement with the Infrastructure Corporation of Nigeria (InfraCorp) and AAA Infrastructure Nigeria Limited for the reconstruction of the Benin-Agbor-Asaba Expressway. The road project go dey funded by AAA Infrastructure and InfraCorp, and Edo State Government go support as investor under the 25-year Highway Development Management Initiative (NDMR) concession to Africa Plus partners. For the signing of the deal for Government House Benin City, Governor Obaseki can describe the partnership as one ogbonge financing model wey go open infrastructure development for the country, and say collabo like this one between states and the federal government dey very important. E con tok say with transactions like this, the government go fit create better opportunity for pension funds to dey collect savings and put them for investment wey go develop Naija. E con still encourage the partners say make dem fast track the process so that the people go see say wetin dem dey do dey real, and say make dem also try to overcome the challenges wey the rainy seasons dey cause.
I believe today we are making history because this sort of transaction is almost 3 decades in the making. I believe in 2000, 2001, when a committee was set up to redesign the pension arrangement in Nigeria. The whole idea was that we should move into a contributory pension arrangement and begin a process of capital formation in the country by getting workers in the country to contribute to their pensions, and that these pension contributions were going to be invested in rebuilding the infrastructure of this country. That was the dream about 30 years ago. I recall vividly I was in that committee, so was my predecessor in office, Corridor Shomole, and it was that committee that led and birthed the pension funds you have in the country today. Those pension funds today have in excess of 16 trillion naira under savings, but there are no outlets to invest them in. Most of them, they are now forced to now invest in short-term papers issued by the federal government. With transactions like this now coming on stream, we will now be using, hopefully creating opportunities for these pension funds to take our money, our savings, to now put into investments that will redevelop Nigeria. This transaction for us is very, very significant, and we believe and hope that it will be the first in several that will come. The Benin-Asaba artery is very critical to the economy of Nigeria because it's that route that moves the bulk of goods from the ports in Lagos, from the states in the west to the eastern and sometimes south part of Nigeria. So you can imagine the cost that transporters, logistics managers have had to bear, which has been translated into prices in this country because of the nature of the bad state of these roads. And because a large portion of this road, almost 60 kilometers of this road, is within Edo State. In fact, this road starts from Ring Road, right through past Abudu to Agbor, and then onto Asaba. So you recall that we, at a certain point in time, had to invest our money, to undertake some remedial measures to save that road, because most of our citizens could not, we're almost cut off because of the bad state of the road. I'm glad that that the federal government has now, concessioned the roads, and not just concessioned the roads to anybody, but to people who know what to do, people who have real money, not people, not portfolio managers who just sign contracts and go and sell the contracts. I know the partners. InfraCorp, as you heard, was set up by the Central Bank of Nigeria. You have the Africa Finance Corporation and the Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund as the shareholders. The Winners of this concession, we know very well. Africa Plus, AfriInvest, and RST Management, and all those pension funds who are going to be putting money in these transactions. Many of them already deal with us. They have managed pensions of Edo State workers. So it's a transaction we believe in, and a transaction that is very core to the economy of our state. That's why we as a state have no hesitation whatsoever to also invest some of our money in that road. We've already started investing. We've spent close to almost $1 billion just remediating the road. And now that we've been offered equity shares in this concession and this road, I want to commit that the Edo State government will invest in this concession to fast track the process and any other concession of roads that go through Edo State. Having started with this project, I would just want to implore you to ensure that we fast track the construction so that people see that it is real. We'll have challenges and also try to overcome the challenges that we've started to experience in terms of road construction in this part of the country. The rainy seasons are now very long. We have like 9 to 10 months of rainy season in a year, which reduces the amount of dry spells for construction. So my advice is that this is taken into consideration. We know you have experience from the work you've done in other parts of the world, particularly in Latin America, and that experience will be brought to bear on the construction of this model highway. I just also hope that the Federal Ministry of Works should now consider very urgently terminating the contracts on the Benin-Agbor-Asaba Road and putting up that road for concession. And the Edo State government will support that initiative because that is the way to go. Let us tell ourselves the truth. The federal government doesn't have the kind of money required to rebuild these roads to the standard they should be, and this is the way to go. I'm not sure the budget of the Federal Ministry of Works is, I'm sure the cost of this road, 228 billion, is more than a quarter of the entire budget of the Federal Ministry of Works. So for us to continue the old model of expecting the Federal Ministry of Works to reconstruct our roads is like a pipe dream. And this is a call on the Federal Ministry of Works to urgently terminate all the contracts on the Benin-Agbor-Asaba Road and put up that road quickly for concession like this. And we as a state government will support it. I want to congratulate you and assure you of our full support to ensure that you make this project a model project and a very successful one.
Chief Executive Officer AAA Infrastructure Nigeria Limited and Managing Director of AAA Infrastructure Nirama Jakaye took mouth on the shareholders where they involved and said them go start the road construction project from Benin for Edo State to Asaba for Delta State and go stop the project for the second Niger Bridge and say the road go dey of benefit to Edo and Delta State and go open up the corridor to the east and west of the country.
The main shareholders are the Central Bank of Nigeria, Africa Finance Corporation, and Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. And AAA's shareholders include Africa Plus Partners, AfriInvest West Africa, and ARC Asset Management, a Florida-based infrastructure investment firm focused on Latin America. They have about $4 billion of assets under management. Africa Plus itself has 400 billion naira of assets under management in the infrastructure space alone. And AfriInvest, as you know, has a track record of providing advisory and fundraising transactions over the last almost 30 years. And we have about 200 billion naira of assets under management on our own. So altogether, together with the partnership we formed with InfraCorp, we are delighted to lend support to this project, which will be the first out of the 9 HDMI roads that have been concessioned. And it's a testament to the resilience and doggedness of Africa Plus partners to have gotten the support of the federal government and all the other approvals to get the road to this point. Amongst the PFAs that are supporting the project are FCMB pensions, ARM pensions, Nigerian Police Force Pensions, Fidelity Pensions, VFT Group, APT, Access Pensions, Nuremberger, Oak, and last but not the least, Leadway Pensions.
For having us today. Africa Plus Partners, through a consortium of promoters, were able to birth the acquisition of the concession from Federal Ministry of Works. And this culminated from a very long process of advertisement and various international bidders bidding for the concession rights, of which we were successful. The road essentially is from Benin to Asaba, terminating at the second Niger Bridge or the old Niger Bridge. Essentially what we're doing is expanding the road and upgrading it to a best-in-class walk standard road, expanding some of the roads in some locations to 10 lanes and in some locations to 8 and so on and so forth. We are glad to have Edo State partner with us on this as also an equity investor. This is a great stride, and this is how transactions of this nature should be consummated. We are also in partnership with the other host state, which is Delta State. And as I rightly said, InfraCorp and AAA are also our major funders of this transaction. We are glad they are both providing debt and equity. And we have a bunch of PFAs, you can see them on the list there, that are also providing equity to this transaction. Once this road is done, it will be a world-class asset for the benefit of the two citizens, and it opens up the corridor to the east and to the west of this country. We're glad to be here, and Your Excellency, thank you for partnering with us. We really appreciate this.
Make una not forget say, as we see them, now so we dey talk am. We need to take blame. From Government House, Benin City, Ekata Ojesole, TMC TV News.